A very good morning, class. So, as you all know, we have already started with lesson number 5 of our secretarial practice, and the name of the lesson is deposits. In the last session, we saw what is the meaning of public deposits and what is the meaning of acceptance of deposit and which companies are eligible to accept the deposits from the same. So class, today we are starting with the next topic, that is, what are the terms and conditions which are required to be fulfilled in order for the companies to accept the deposit. As you all know, class, in your textbook you have a total of 20 points, that is 20 terms and conditions given. So we have divided the topic into two parts, that is 10 points we'll be covering today, and the next 10 we'll be covering tomorrow, that is in the next session. And as 20 points are too much to remember, every time as we do, we are maintaining the legacy, and I've tried to maintain a smart code for the topic. Terms and conditions for acceptance of deposit. So here comes your smart code. अपना जस्सी NC कॉलेज का ड्रॉप आउट है. I repeat the smart code. अपना जस्सी NC कॉलेज का ड्रॉप आउट है. So all the alphabets which you see in yellow color are your head points of the answer. So अपना APNA, जस्सी JASI, NC कॉलेज का C, and DROPO, DROPO. This is your total of 20 points which makes up this answer. And today we'll be covering the first 10 of these. Order is not compulsory. You can remember the head points in any order as these are terms and conditions. So let's move on to the topic, terms and conditions for acceptance of deposit, point number 1. So apna A stands for amount of deposit. So class, as you can see, this is a page of your textbook which I have taken, and this topic we already covered last time, PPE. So the private company, public company other than the eligible company, and what is eligible public company also we covered in the previous topic, and government company. So what are the conditions mentioned? Let us have a look. The private company. So in case of private company, they can accept deposit from its members or directors or relatives of directors not more than 100% of its aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves. So it can only accept up till a limit of 100% of its aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves. However, certain class of private companies as specified by the Companies Act can accept the deposit more than 100% of its aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves. So maximum private companies can only ask for deposits up till 100% including their paid up share capital and free reserves. But there are certain classes of private companies which are specified by the Companies Act 2013. ऐसी कुछ कंपनियां हैं प्राइवेट कंपनीज जो 100% से ज्यादा पेड डिपॉजिट एक्सेप्ट कर सकती हैं of its aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves. Coming to public company other than eligible company. So this we saw previously, what is the difference between a public company and eligible public company. The public company which are not eligible companies cannot accept fresh deposit from the members if the amount of such deposits together with the previous deposit exceeds 25% of the aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves of the company. So basically these companies cannot accept deposits agar उनका amount of deposits together with the previous amount of deposits which they had already collected, कुल मिला के अभी वाला और previous वाला amount of deposit अगर 25% से exceed कर रहा है, ज़्यादा हो रहा है of the paid up share capital and free reserves, then the public company cannot accept any deposit. So the limit is, if the limit of deposit now and previous combined is less than 25%, then yes, you can accept the deposit. If not, then you cannot accept deposit from the members. Eligible public company. Now, eligible public company has got two options. It can collect either from the public or from its members. If in case of members, what it has to remember is, it cannot accept fresh deposits if the amount of deposits together with the previous deposit exceeds 10% of the aggregate of paid up share capital free reserves. And public, the same which I mentioned above, it cannot accept fresh deposits if the amount of such deposits together with the previous deposits exceed 25% of the total of paid up share capital and free reserves. So in case of member, अगर अभी वाला deposit and previous deposit मिला के 10% of the aggregate paid up share capital से exceed होता है या ज़्यादा होता है, then it cannot accept deposit from its members. And for the public, again the same thing. Current deposit amount and the previous deposit amount अगर मैं साथ में मिलाऊं और अगर वो 25% के ऊपर जा रहा है, then it cannot accept the deposit. Government company. Government companies can accept deposits from the public not exceeding 35% of the paid up share capital and free reserves of the company. So basically अलग-अलग percentages है. So in case of private, certain private companies can accept deposits, but it should not be more than 100% of the paid up capital and free reserve. Certain private companies are allowed to accept the deposits above 100%. In case of public company, the amount of current deposit and the previous amount of the deposit, if you mix it together and add it up, and if it is exceeding 25% of your paid up capital and free reserves, you cannot accept the deposit. The same goes with eligible public company. For in case of members, it should not exceed 10% of the total of the paid up share capital and free reserves. In case of public, the condition is the same. It should not exceed 25% of the paid up capital and reserves. In case of government company, if it is exceeding above 35% of the paid up share capital and free reserves, so you cannot accept the deposits from the public. So I hope all these four parts are clear to you. So read it very carefully and slowly. You'll understand it properly. Coming to the second point, period or tenure of deposit. No deposit can be accepted or renewed, which is to be repaid within a period of 6 months or more than 36 months. So as I told you that the company can accept the deposits only for a certain period, like public deposits, that is 6 months or maximum 36 months, that is 3 years. So no deposit can be accepted or renewed, which is to be repaid within a period of 6 months or more than 36 months. In certain circumstances, a company may accept the deposits repayable earlier than 6 months to meet its short-term needs. Such deposits may have a tenure of minimum 3 months, and the amount of such deposits cannot be more than 10% of the aggregate of the paid up share capital and free reserves of the company. Under certain circumstances, on the request of the depositor, the company makes premature repayment of deposits. It may also renew its deposit with the same terms of issue, and it will be considered as fresh deposits. Now, what do you mean by this? Now, usually this is telling that if the deposit has to be repaid within a period of 6 months or 36 months, then the companies cannot accept or renew it. So in such cases, a company may accept deposit which are repayable earlier than 6 months. So that means to meet its short term needs. So basically if your deposits, अगर आपको deposit repay करना है 6 महीने बाद या 36 months बाद, तो please don't accept such kind of deposit. The alternative is you can accept it for less than a period of 6 months. Say you can have a tenure of 3 months. And the amount of such deposits cannot be more than 10% of the aggregate paid up share capital and free reserves. Sometimes on the request of the depositor, the company can make premature repayment of deposits. That means the maturity date is still to come, but yes, the company is repaying back the deposits to the depositor on the request. The company may also renew the deposits on the same terms as they had asked for issue of deposits, and that deposits will be considered as fresh deposits. So basically in short आपको याद रखना है, if the deposits are to be repaid after a period of 6 months or 36 months, then please you cannot accept those deposits. It can be before 6 months, that is a minimum period of 3 months. And that too, it should not exceed 10% of the total paid up share capital and free reserves of the company. All right. So that is the second point, period or tenure of deposit. Number 3, no demand deposit. The company cannot accept or renew deposits repayable on demand. So demand deposits means like say saving or recurring account is an example of demand deposit. That means whenever the consumer demands that he or she wants his money back, you have to return it. So the deposits which the companies are not allowed to accept or renew are demand deposits. So no company will accept or renew the demand deposits from the public or its members. So are you all clear with the 3 points? Number 1 was amount of the deposit. Number 2, period of the deposit. Number 3, no demand deposit. Coming to the next one, the 4th one. Continuing with the same answer. So in this case, you can see I've picked up the letter S, secured or unsecured deposit. Now this we have already seen in types also, secured debentures, unsecured debentures, secured loans, unsecured loans, okay. The companies can accept secured or unsecured deposits, but it should be clearly mentioned in the circular or advertisement inviting the deposit. If a company offers secured deposits, it has to create charge on tangible assets within 30 days of acceptance of deposits. So basically, the company can also offer 2 types of deposits, that is secured and unsecured. If it is unsecured, then there's no problem. But yes, if it is a secured deposit, then the company has to create charge on assets. So this we have already studied. Charge on asset is nothing but interest created in the favor of the creditors. And if by chance the company defaults in paying, then the tangible assets on which the charge was created within 1 month, that is 30 days of acceptance of deposit, and repay the money back to the depositor or creditor. So are you all clear with this? So whatever type of deposit is there, you should mention it. And also if it is a secured deposit, you have to create COA, charge on tangible assets. Coming to the next one, application form. A company has to provide an application form. It should contain a declaration by the applicant that the deposit he is making is not made out of any money borrowed by him from another person. So basically, application form is a written agreement which you are taking down from the depositor that whatever money he is depositing in the company is his own money. उधार वाला पैसा नहीं है जो उसने किसी और बंदे से लिया हुआ है. So that should be written in the application form. So there should be a declaration which should be given by the depositor that whatever money is being deposited in the company is his own money and he has not borrowed from any other person for the same. Joint names. The company can accept deposit in joint names, but there should not be more than 3 names. So the deposit which the person is making in the company can have more than 1 name, and maximum it should not exceed 3 names. So the company can accept the deposits in joint names. Okay. So are the 6 points clear? All right. Moving forward. With the same topic, terms and conditions for acceptance of deposit. Nomination. Now what is a nominee? Nominee का मतलब होता है the transferor. That means if I am the holder of something and if something happens to me, तो कल को अगर कुछ होता है, so whatever things are there will be transferred to that particular person, या उसको transmit हो जाएगी, या तो मेरे बाद जो भी आएगा उसको मिलेगा. So every depositor has a right at any point of time to nominate a person as a nominee in the event of death of the depositor. So if anything happens to the main person, the next person who is responsible will get all the things of the person. जैसे हम बैंक में भी भरते हैं, so there is an option, the name of your nominee. So nominee is like, for example, the close ones, those people who are close to us, we can nominate their name as nominee. Okay. So nomination is also there. Appointment of deposit trustee. Remember class, when we were doing the 4th lesson, issue of debentures, debenture trustee, DTs, हमने topic पढ़ा था. In the same way, there is deposit trustee. The काम जो उनका work है, it is the same as the debenture trustee. So whenever the company is issuing debentures to more than 500 people, तो उनको debenture trustee appoint करना पड़ता है. They are the one who are responsible to look after the interest of the debenture holders. Any problem is there, the debenture holder contact the debenture trustees, है ना? So in the same way, when the company issues secured deposit, it has to appoint one or more deposit trustee. These trustees protect the interest of the depositors in case a company defaults in repaying the deposit. The company signs a deposit contract with the deposit trustees called as the deposit trust deed, containing the terms and conditions of the contract. The deed has to be signed at least 7 days before issuing the circular or advertisement. The trustees on their own or on request of 1/10 of the depositors can call a meeting of the depositors in case of defaulting of the company in repaying the deposits. So the topic is very clear. If the company is issuing secured debentures, apart from creating charge on assets, to appoint deposit trustees. Now the deposit trustees maintains or protects the interest of the depositors. अगर कंपनी उनका पैसा वापस नहीं करती है, so the deposit trustees will help them out. The company enters into a contract with these trustees called as the deposit trust deed, जिसमें सारे terms and conditions, everything is mentioned. Also, the deed has to be signed at least 1 week before issuing of circular or advertisement. The trustees on their own also, if they feel that the company will not be able to repay the deposits back to the depositors, or on request of 1/10 of the depositors, the trustees can call a meeting in case if they feel that the company is not able to give the money back to them. So they can have a meeting and decide what has to be done. Okay. So this is what is appointment of deposit trustee. Coming to the next point, 9, interest. The maximum rate of interest depends upon the guidelines given by RBI. So RBI will decide what should be the maximum limit of interest which can be provided. In case of premature repayments of deposit, the company can deduct 1% interest from the rate of interest stated at the time of acceptance of deposit. So in case of premature repayment, that is before the maturity date of the deposit, if the company is returning back the deposits, So it can deduct 1% from the total rate of interest, which was stated at the time of acceptance. In case of deposits which are matured and claimed, but are not paid by the company, the deposits are matured, the depositors are claiming it, asking for their deposits, but the company is not able to repay them back. So in that case, the company has to pay penal rate of interest at the rate 18% for the overdue period. So there will be a penalty on the company for not paying the deposits on the maturity date. Even if the depositors are claiming it, then the company has to pay a penalty rate of interest at the rate of 18% for the overdue period. That means for whatever time the company is, delaying it, that much rate will be applicable. That is as per 18%. Utna rate lagega jitne time period ke liye it is delaying the process of repaying the deposits back to the depositors. Okay. Coming to the next one, point number 10. 10th point is creating charge on assets. So this topic we have done n number of times. If a company offers secure deposits, it has to create charge on tangible assets within 30 days of acceptance of deposit. That will be created in the favor of deposit trustee for an amount not less than the amount of deposit accepted. So the charge on assets will be equal, not less than the amount of deposit. It can be equal to the amount of deposit which is accepted. The minimum amount of security should be equal to the amount not covered by the deposit insurance. So the minimum amount of security should be equal to the amount which is not covered under deposit insurance. So we'll be seeing this point in the further slides to come. So I hope the 10 points are clear to you. So we can just do a quick revision of the first 10 points. So apna, that was the very first 4 points you had. So it includes amount of deposit, period of deposit, no demand deposit, that was APN. Another is you can add appointment of deposit trustee. You can add that, or if not, then you can also add application form. That was point number 5. Then we had JASI, J-A-S-I. So from J you have joint names. Again from A, here also you can put appointment of deposit trustees or application form, whatever you feel. Then S, secured or unsecured deposit. And then you had I. I is interest. Then you had NC. So N stands for nomination and C is creating charge on assets. So apna, JASI, NC. Yahan tak we have finished. That is the first 10 terms and conditions for acceptance of deposit. We'll continue the same answer tomorrow. So the topic for tomorrow will be the same, terms and conditions for accepting deposits. College ka dropout hai, the remaining half of the smart code we'll be completing tomorrow. So class, I hope you all are clear with the first 10 points. And a request again, if you feel that you are benefiting from my videos, please like it, subscribe it, press the bell icon, and please share the link with your maximum friends whom you feel can be benefited by seeing this video. So till then, take care, stay safe. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you so much for listening to me.